This video was brought to you by Squarespace. Hey folks, Arlo here, still working on this fake computer because I'm on a long trip and all I brought with me was a camera and a green screen. But thanks to Squarespace, my website, Arlo Recommends, is still thriving. Squarespace made it easy to build my website. I picked a template that looked good, messed with it a bit, and I was done. Great looking website created with zero coding knowledge. Now making content is easy as heck. I throw in my text, my pictures, my tweets, videos, any old thing. I schedule it all to automatically publish later and even push to social media all by itself. You can't even tell I've been gone. If you need more for your site, Squarespace offers many powerful extensions and lots of fun analytics to look at too. To try out Squarespace for yourself, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. Then when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/Arlo to save 10% off your first website or domain. And now for today's recommendation. High quality olive oil. It's expensive, but trust me, good olive oil can transform a dish, especially salads where olive oil is a main ingredient in the dressing. If you've got someone selling it at a local farmer's market, go for that. Thanks again to Squarespace. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got some more recommending to do. Where's the beef? Hello, my friends. I am still here having fun in my my makeshift away from home setup as I house hunt up here in Washington, having fun. Also still here making content about the Nintendo Direct because it was a very big Direct. So much to talk about. Just so much to talk about. We got so many just things from that Direct, you know, new trailers for previously announced games like your Pikmin 4. We got brand new game reveals, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and the Peach game, and we even got like a full remake of the beloved Super Mario RPG. We got the full spread of types of announcements you can get in a Direct. And those are all very exciting, but right now I want to talk about something a little more humble. You know, a kind of announcement that might not be quite as flashy and grand as brand new games, but still oh so important. I'm of course referring to the Remaster. And I want to talk about remasters today because I feel that Nintendo's recent activity in the remaster space, as it were, has been awesome. It's cool, super awesome and cool. But not just that, it's also painting a brighter future for us plans. I know, I can't just be happy about the thing. I gotta look at the big picture. It's just the way that I am. So let me explain. So this is really a continuation of a previous discussion we had because this all started earlier in the year when, in a Nintendo Direct, Nintendo almost unceremoniously announced a remaster of the original Metroid Prime. And this was a remaster. This was not, you know, this whole like remaster versus enhanced port thing, which we're not even going into right now. I'm just calling them all remasters. This one though, the Metroid one, this was as remastery as a remaster can possibly be. You know, all the same code and everything, but completely redone assets. Just top to bottom, every little thing completely replaced, updated controls, just the whole schmagiggy. And so like, just obviously as a fan of that game, that was incredible. So I'm still having a hard time processing that it's real and I have it and I can hold it in my hands and play it myself. So not only was it just an amazing thing as a Metroid Prime fan, it felt even more important than that. It felt even more important because of the fact that Nintendo so casually shadow dropped it. And as I explained in my video that I obviously did about it, Nintendo doesn't do that. Historically, they don't shadow drop things. We kind of joke about it. We say like, wouldn't it be cool if they did? But they don't. That's not a thing they do. But like, apparently they do now, because in this case, they did it, and that showed us that they are willing to at least consider it. It is something that is possible for them to do. It broke the ice. And then it was also cool that we got this remaster because obviously, like as a Metroid fan, I want Metroid Prime 4 to sell really well. And you know, it's scary to think that it might not sell as well as it could because you've got all these other people who want to play Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 first. And they can't because it's not on Switch and they're not going to go dig up old systems in order to play them. And so there was that whole thing too. And this really, it made the future seem a lot more hopeful for people being able to play these games and thus to be able to play Metroid Prime 4. So all that happened, we got that, and it was great. And the big hope was just that it wasn't a one and done thing. It wasn't just like, I don't know, they just felt like doing it this way for some random reason, but really it's not ever gonna happen again, because that was completely a possibility. So I was really eager to see if it was something they were gonna do again. And we just had another Direct. The very, very next Direct, it really seems like what I was hoping is coming true. It seems that, yes, it is coming to pass. This is kind of just a thing that Nintendo is doing now. This Direct supported the idea that Nintendo's whole attitude about games, about how every single game, no matter what, has to have a big build-up, lots of marketing, has to come out at a super high price, it's gotta be a big, huge thing. No, that's just, it doesn't have to be that way anymore. Now it is okay for them to just be like, here's just a remaster. I don't know. Here it is, today. Sure, why not? Go buy it. And the great thing about this, the great thing about getting even more Shadow Drop games is that it means more than I even initially realized it could mean. The Pikmin 1 and 2 remasters makes it seem like this is not just, the Shadow Drop thing is not just something Nintendo is willing to do, but something that they are doing strategically for specific game series that need it the most. Because the worry I had about Metroid Prime 4 not selling well because people couldn't play the old ones, of course I felt the same thing about Pikmin 4, even before the game was announced. It was just like, well, you're not, I mean, why even make a Pikmin 4 if you're not gonna let us play the old ones? What's even the point? It was just this scary idea that even if they did make one, would people play it if they can't play the old games first? They put 3 on the system, but it sold better than any other Pikmin game, but that's not saying as much as I wish it was saying because the Switch's install base is so big and games sell so well. I was hoping for more. I really was. It sold okay, but not super great. And I don't know how much the sales will be affected now that we do have 1 and 2. I really don't know, but I did know that I wanted them to at least be available just to make sure. And for so many years, we spent so long just being so frustrated, just year after year. These people could be becoming Pikmin fans if you just gave them the opportunity to. And yeah, obviously I've made loads of videos about lack of legacy content on the Switch and how the Switch itself is a golden opportunity. It's creating fans, it's growing IPs. Nintendo has not had a chance like this to just install these IPs into people's brain eyeballs. It's just such a great opportunity. The best opportunity they've had in decades, perhaps ever, perhaps literally ever. But back to the Pikmin 1 and 2 ports, this showed us that Nintendo, it took them longer than I think maybe it should have. Like, I feel like it would have been better if we had spent years being able to play and buy Pikmin kind of leading up in preparation for 4. At the same time though, you can see the value in this as well. The fact that 4 is coming and then they get to do this Shadow Drop thing to create kind of a frenzy. I mean, like, Pikmin is the talk of the town right now. Everyone's talking about Pikmin because the Direct gives us lots of announcements for games that are coming later. And when those come, it'll be a big deal. So we're all talking about the announcements, but then it also gives us something to play now. You know, you pre-order Super Mario Bros. Wonder, you pre-order Super Mario RPG, but right now everyone's playing Pikmin. There's such value, and it seems like they're doing it so strategically, just like they did for Metroid. Just like they did, because both these series, they don't sell very well, and yet they have such hardcore, passionate fan bases. It's just so wonderful to see Nintendo so purposefully, so deliberately market these games and shadow drop them in this exact way. And seeing that they are doing this and seeing that shadow drops could happen at any time, some beloved game, any old beloved game could just be the next one to just get dropped in our laps. it really just makes you feel good about the future. Not just for the availability of these games, not just because you're thinking like, oh man, that means that this one game I love, there really is a chance it could happen at any time. Not just that, but just because we see what they're doing to support these IPs. It feels good to not have to worry as much, because I've personally spent a lot of years where you're not supposed to worry about stupid game stuff, but you know, I don't mean like worry, but you know what I mean, just worried. Like, what is Nintendo doing for Metroid? What are they doing to get people playing the old games? What are they doing for Pikmin? Why are they releasing new games without giving us the opportunity to play the old games? And even if it took longer than I expected for them to get here, they're here. I don't know what changed. I don't know why they're deciding to just do this now, 6 years into the Switch's life, but they're doing it, and that itself is just a relief. It's just a relief. And like, yeah, now that we have like these two kind of different standards, we have the Metroid Prime standard, the amazing, incredible remaster, it's the most amazing thing in the world, and then we have Pikmin 1 and 2 ports, which are really very basic, incredibly basic. Then, okay, yeah, like when they announce something that you love, it might not be in the form that you're like, you know, like if they release Prime 2 and 3, but they really are just simple ports, that'll be a little disappointing. But at the same time, now I'm just less worried about them like not existing at all. You know, like I was scared that they would do Metroid Prime 1 and do this really nice remaster and then maybe just skip 2 and 3 and then we just have 1 and 4. And that would be weird and confusing for the fans, but I'm less worried about that now, because I know that at any time, they could just be like, oh yeah, here's 2 and 3. Done deal. It's great. If anything, Nintendo's probably just waiting. They gave us Prime 1 to just, you know, give us something, and then maybe they'll save 2 and 3 for closer to when 4 comes out. There you go. That's possible, completely possible. Seems likely, even. On the flip side, I must mention that yes, this whole like random remaster drop thing, it does kind of interfere with the idea of eventually getting GameCube games on NSO, whether it's on, you know, this system or the next system. That kind of complicates things a bit, makes it seem like, oh yeah, they're probably not gonna do that if they'd prefer to just give us these remasters. However, I'll take what I can get. We just want to be able to play the darn games. Here's the thing about that Direct. Pikmin 1 and 2, that was not the only remasters announced. One of the most out-of-the-blue announcements ever was Dark Moon, Luigi's Mansion. It just was so out of nowhere. So out of nowhere. And it shouldn't have been out of nowhere, because the Luigi's Mansion series sells very well. Dark Moon sold very well. It makes perfect sense. It's just that Nintendo hadn't yet set that precedent. They don't really remaster 3DS games and put them on Switch. That's not a thing that they have been doing. For whatever reason, they like taking Wii U games and putting them on the 3DS. I don't get it, but for some reason, 3DS to Switch, not really happening. I mean, and I kind of get it, you know, like the 3D element kind of complicates things. Some games use it very heavily. The 2 screens. Nintendo is also just kind of weirdly stubborn about stuff like this sometimes, and they're not always like super into bringing forward the new games the old games as we talk about a lot. But for whatever reason, it's happening now, at least with Dark Moon. And it's gonna have enhanced graphics and everything, so it's gonna look really pretty. And so like, not only does this play into the whole remaster port willingness thing that I'm talking about, not only does this slew of remasters bode well for just more remasters in the future, but it bodes well for more 3DS games. There's so many amazing 3DS games that would do so well on the Switch. And I know we can't get our hopes up about there being a bunch more. There might not be. It might just not happen, but the fact, just once more, the fact that Nintendo has done it at all, they are willing. It is possible. It is technically now on the table. And if anything, the weird choice makes it seem even more likely. Like 3D Land. Why would you not do 3D Land? That would sell so ridiculously well. But they chose Dark Moon for whatever reason. And I don't know, something about that gives me even more hope that they're just kind of maybe just gonna do it now? I don't know. I hope so. You know, I've talked about this before, but like the Switch is kind of Nintendo's return to quote-unquote normal consoles, single screen, regular controllers, you know, and Nintendo has a big library of games on DS, 3DS, Wii U that are just weird, So like every single time they bring one of those to the modern platform, because this platform might continue. If we're lucky, they might create an ecosystem that can move forward easily. So every time they take one of those games from those generations and bring it forward, that is a win. We are one step closer to being able to just play all of these darn games on a more modern and convenient system. A remaster of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon specifically, or even Pikmin 1 and 2 specifically, all by themselves, might not necessarily mean a whole lot to everybody, but to me, all of this put together seems to be painting a picture, and it's a picture that I really like to see. So that is where I'm at. That is how I am seeing, how I am perceiving all of these amazing announcements and releases and all that stuff. And I still cannot believe that these are the games we're getting. I don't get it. Like, even if Nintendo was gonna go on this big, crazy remaster spree, why is it these games? Why is it the exact games that Arlo wants? I really do not know. I don't get it, but I ain't complaining. I'll take it. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Let me know down in the comments what remasters you want to see, or whatever. I don't know. You don't have to comment. I'm not your mom.